Good morning, good day, good afternoon, good evening, and good night. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Stark, and welcome to this, the second episode of a series I'm calling Stark Silver Linings, in which we are taking a look at just how poorly I can play Starcraft 2 and learn from the mistakes that I make along the way in the hopes of becoming a better player. In this game, on Core City, spawning to the north as the Red Zerg, we have myself as Kesh, because I haven't yet managed to change the tag name on this account, which I probably will eventually, but don't really have the time for it, even though it doesn't take very much. Probably just lazy. Anyways. And to the south of Core Hall City, we have my opponent, the blue Protoss, Zero She. Anyways, as we can see, in the first minute or so, we're just doing a bit of scouting. There's not really much that can really happen in the first minute of play, first minute and a half or so. I mean, the nice thing about Core Hall City is it does have these nice in-base natural expansions, and I believe we actually both go for them in this particular match. This game's about a couple of days old, last time when I played it. It's been a time, I just haven't had time to actually make the video for it. So we'll see how it goes. I don't remember exactly what happens in this game, but I do remember that this is what you should not do to counter a Protoss death ball. And you'll see that towards the end of the video, because it happens right at the end of the game before I decide to quit, because at that point it's just a GG. So yeah, it does look like I'm going for the initial early expansion, as is generally probably pretty common, especially on this map, since the natural is in the base defended, so it's probably going to be a bit more of a macro heavy game. And I just also want to point out that on this map, especially for Zerg, it's actually rather nice because you have these nice big areas of dead space that you can actually dump overlords in to sort of see anything coming up along the sides, like dropships, oracles, warp prisms, stuff like that. So how are you today? Good? That's good. Yeah, there's not a whole lot of mistakes going on at this stage of the game. That's the production. See, yeah, gateway, cannon, hatchery. So yeah, early expansions, not really all that much going on. Even warrior count is pretty much the same. So let's recap what I learned from the first game, shall we? While we sort of wait for something actually interesting to happen. So far, lessons I've learned from the first game that I played against my good friend Mr. Jackie Chan is that I needed to have a better income. I needed to attack SCVs that were repairing bunkers. Fortunately, I don't have to worry about that particular lesson, since Protoss cannot repair their buildings. However, the income is still something that I need to work on. So that's what I was actually trying to work on in this particular game. I was trying to spend as much money as I possibly can, and also to make as many workers as I possibly can. And this is a fairly macro-oriented game, I believe. Not much actually really happens. I mean, I scare this probe off. I think that was just a lag spike in the game. Pretty sure that was just a lag spike in the game. It's not. Yeah, if I recall correctly, there was. I think, yeah, maybe a minor disconnect somewhere along the way. So yeah, just scared off a probe, killed a probe, and that puts me slightly ahead in the resources lost. I've killed one individual probe right now. And it looks like I'm starting to get some creep spread. That's another thing I learned from the previous game, that I didn't actually spread creep all that well. And in this one, this is a much larger map because it's a four-person map basically. So it's a much larger map. So a good creep spread will actually go a long way on this particular map. Now what's he up to? He's making a mothership call. A pretty standard opening Protoss build to go and do a macro, like for a quick expand. There's really nothing going on in that first, like, 7-8 minutes of this game. Looks like I'm dropping a spire. Which is also one of the other lessons I learned from the previous game, is that I need to harass better. Because I didn't actually get to harass anything at all during my game, the first game. If you watched that video, I didn't actually get to do any type of harassment, mainly because I had a poor unit count. I had more, well, I'd never poor unit count, but I was using the wrong kind of units. And using the right kind would actually be much more beneficial. So, I'm just going to stick these Zerglings on here, so I'll start killing this off very, very slowly to start try to get my third base up and running. However, I kind of make a mistake here. This is where the first mistake I make in the game is. I should have put this, like, I made 2 spore crawlers, and they're in very bad positions. This is something that you really shouldn't do, especially if you're trying to prevent. What do you have here? Yeah, especially if you're trying to prevent like oracles or void rays or banshees or Vikings or anything like that. Well, not necessarily Vikings, but banshees, oracles, void rays, even other mutalisks. This is something you don't want to do. You don't want to put them here, because it actually only defends about that much area space. And the oracles and void rays can actually come right up here and just start killing everything this way and really hurting your time. What I should have done is I should have put it here. And I believe I'm actually going to pay very dearly for this, for not doing that, because I think this actually gets 1 or 2 shots off, as these oracles are sort of just going to come fly here. Gets maybe 1, let's see, here it is, 1, 2, 3. So it gets 3 shots off, and then these oracles can just go to town. Whereas if I put it here, it probably would have completely scared them off, and I would not have lost any of these drones. Or the queen. I think I eventually do kill these, because I do have mutas on the way. So I eventually do kill them, but they more than paid for themselves, basically. I mean, for the cost of 2 oracles. So yeah, I lost basically 17 drones and a queen. That's 1,000 resources right there. That's right, 17. Yeah, 17. That's not good. I mean, that really hurts my income. And I was ahead in the worker count. And now I build this here. I should have done this in the first place, because he's probably not going to come back and do it again, because he knows that. I mean, it's a money sink, so it's a good reaction on my part to actually build another one here. But I should have built the first one there in the first place. So I'm just going to come down, see if I can do a little bit of reprisal and attack him. I don't think this is actually going to go very well, because he actually prepared after he saw mutas. He's, doing the smart thing, dropping cannons in good defensive positions that will defend the entire mineral line and actually scare these mutas away before they can really actually do anything. I get a free stalker at least, but that's not going to help me very much. I think I lose one of these mutas. Nope. Oh, and he kills his own stalker. I guess the stalker was a mutinous stalker. It wanted to play nice with the Zerg. See, if I had rebuilt my drones, I actually could have been ahead at this point. Or if I didn't lose at them in the first place, I was actually ahead, because I lost 17, and it took me down to about 30. So I was actually about 47, so I actually had the economic advantage. And this is another thing that I was sort of talking about early on with the overlords in the dead space. Like this oracle, I actually saw it coming all the way up this way, and could intercept before it really got any kills. I believe it actually got 2 or 3 kills there. But because of these overlords placements in the dead space, it's why it's masked very nice for Zerg because of this. Because it's a nice big open area that you can let your overlord sort of sit here and gives you vision over everything. And that's what I actually saw that coming. Of course, I'm kind of silly and I don't actually make any overseers to sort of look for observers, because every good Protoss player has observers, and I need to learn that every good Protoss player makes observers, and if I can actually find them and kill them, I might actually do better. Mainly because I can keep them guessing on what I'm building, because right now he knows exactly what I'm building. He already has his third base. I'm not, well, I couldn't really start mine because I'm still really slow on rebuilding all the drones I lost. I haven't even gotten back to the point where I lost them, because I've just been building an army. I've been building units and mostly building a couple of mutas and mostly zerglings, which at this point is actually not a good idea. I shouldn't really be building zerglings. I should probably be taking up into maybe roaches or hydras. I think I'll have... I do have some swarm hosts on the way. This is something I really shouldn't do. I mean, there's no observer up here right now, but there easily could be. Like, against Terran, it's not as bad, but against Protoss, it's kinda really bad, because it could be an observer just sort of floating here. But there isn't. He's up here. Not really actually looking at anything, is he? No, he's not. But he knows exactly what I have anyways, because he's been scatting me the entire bloody time. Like, actually, he hasn't even come into my base. He doesn't even know what I have. Huh, that's interesting. Well, I guess he knows that I have spore callers and probably pick it off. So. And again, I'm using these swarm hosts out in the middle of nowhere. And the thing I've found about swarm hosts is you really need... I mean, I have 4 right here. But I've found over other games that I might make videos on later that swarm hosts, they're only really effective if you use like 6 or more. Because if you have like, well, even 5, 4 to 5 is kind of okay. I think I kill a pylon here, and it grabs their attention, but I shouldn't really leave these sort of open here. It sort of grabs their attention, and it kind of works, but if I had like 6 or 7 or 8 or 9 or 10, if I had a lot of them, because basically you get 2 locusts. So right now I have 12 locusts, no, 8 locusts running out, which doesn't actually do that much damage to get. I mean, they got what, 65 health a piece, and they do what, 13 damage, and they got 1 armor. So what's 8 times 65? It's how much? How much damage? How much health is that? 8 times 65. Yeah, it's 520 health. So that's not bad. But if I had another couple, then it would have gotten more. And see, here's another big issue. Actually, I should be attacking this Void Ray with the Mutalisks instead. I'm attacking stupid Archon, which I shouldn't be. I should be attacking the Void Rays because my ground army clearly can win that. Could have won that engagement without the Mutas killing the Archon. And then I probably could have killed 1 or 2, maybe 3 or 4 of these Void Rays, which would have softened them up a bit more, and then I could have done more damage with my ground army. I didn't actually really do that much damage. And again, he's got such a better economy, because I'm still I initially had 47 workers before I'd lost them all like about 10 minutes ago, and I still don't. And I just now have that number back. It took me 10 minutes to rebuild 17 workers. That's not very good, especially since I'm actually trying to have a better economy. I mean, I have a better economy than my first game, as we can see. I mean, my first game I think I had like 21 workers, like throughout the entire game, maybe 30. And this queen I think is just gonna... Oh no, I saved the queen with the Zerglings. The Zerglings and Ultralisks, I mean, it's not a great thing to try to use, especially since I know he's getting Void Rays. I really should have done something else. I think I got some Corruptors. Corruptors are nice, but I mean, Prismatic Alignment, it scares the crap out of me trying to use Corruptors against them, because I have to kite like crazy, since Prismatic Alignment basically means Void Rays get to cut Corruptors like butter. And I mean, Corruptors are slightly faster, so if you engage and then kind of pull back and wait for the Prismatic Alignment to go off, then that's okay, but it takes a lot of effort to do that, and a lot of micro, and it gets your stuff way out of position. However, if I was actually smart and made more Hydras, I think I'll actually make 1 or 2, despite the fact I actually did the range upgrade. I did the range upgrade mainly because I'm having a blast with swarm hosts, despite the fact I don't really know how to use them. And that's why I did the range upgrade, but it would have been much of a better idea for me to actually drop a Roach 1, which I don't have, and throw out some Hydras, because he doesn't actually have Colossus. He's going heavy Sky Toss. Well, not really. Heavy Gateway, couple of Sky, mostly Void Rays. Void Rays, Zealots, and Archons. So Hydras and Roaches would have been a much, much better unit composition than what I have right now. Because right now, this is exactly how you do not counter a Protoss Death Ball that consists of Void Rays and Zealots and Archons. This is something you just don't do. And my economy, well, actually I could have done this transfer a little better, so I sent them there, but I should have just waited for this thing to be done. So now I waste the time doing this with 12, 11, yeah, 12 workers. There was a 12th one just lagging behind there. So that kind of wasted a whole bunch of mining time. Probably about a good 30 seconds to travel back and forth before they actually get back up there and start doing their job. And now I'm rolling out some more swarmers that this observer can quite clearly see exactly what I just did. This is exactly what I have. He knows I have some Zerglings, and there's some swarm hosts sort of rolling out. And he's going to start intercepting them. Where does he see these? So he's actually using a good amount of observers. He's got 1, 2, 3, 4. He's got about 3. I mean, my creep spread quite nice this game. He's not actually killing off the creep tumors, which most players probably would. And it's always a good idea to kill creep tumors, don't get me wrong. It's always a great idea to kill creep tumors. It annoys me when people kill my creep tumors, but I know that, that's what they're supposed to do. And these swarm hosts, this is something, again, never ever do this. Don't leave swarm hosts out in the middle of nowhere, especially with your closest force way back there. And again, let's just pause and back it up, because this is exactly how you do not want to counter Protoss Death Ball. Let's just sort of do that, bring it up. Okay, back, and out. Now, this is exactly, as I said, this is how you do not want to counter a Protoss Death Ball of this composition, because you're going to see exactly what's going to happen. And let's just look at the units lost. So we have 9150, 5650, and I haven't killed anything yet. Still going. There we go, I finally got some kills. I killed about 5 Zealots for the cost of about 7,000 minerals. Let's just take a look at that again and see just how much that actually hurts. Because that's pretty much what the GG is. So before I lose these swarm hosts, I'm still down by 2,000 minerals in the resources lost. We spent about the exact same amount on army, but he's got better tech. Our economy is fairly similar, not too much. But I've lost 2,000 resources more, because, hey, Zerglings are kind of squishy, Mutalisks. That's pretty much the Mutalisk kind I lost. But again, don't do this. This is something that I learned this game, is that I should never ever do this again. Just leave Swarmhouse out in the middle of nowhere, just to get ganked by a Protoss Death Ball. And again, this is something I shouldn't have done. Making a whole bunch of Zerglings. And we just I forgot to watch it, but anyways, you see the point. You see the picture. I lost about 7, maybe 8,000 resources to about 500 or so. Goodbye, Mr. Viper. Just get incinerated. Yeah, that's how you don't counter this type of death ball. Like I said, some roaches, some hydras, anything else would have been better. Maybe even some infestors to slow it down a little bit, but basically if I had a bunch of hydras, would have been a much better idea. And obviously I can't do anything because I've got no money again. Even though my income's actually quite not too bad. I'm just spending too much. So what I learned in this game is I did learn to actually make more drones. However, I needed to make them quicker after I lost them. That was one of the problems. Is that when I lost them all back around the 8-minute mark, maybe 10 minutes. Let's just sort of watch it here. So back when I lost the drones up here, I needed to remake them quicker, and so I took about another Just find out. It was around the 18-minute mark that I got them back, so I'm losing them around the 9-minute mark. 10 minutes. I'm losing around 9 minutes, 10 minutes. So it takes me about another 8 to get them all back. Yeah. It takes me about another 8 minutes to actually get back what I had lost. Which isn't... that's not a good thing to do. I should have done it quicker, especially since I actually believe I actually... well, I have 3 lava available, but I do have a queen, and I have 4... but I made more 5 drones, but then I stopped making them now. I didn't make them back quicker. I started making zerglings, which, again, I shouldn't have done. I mean, yeah, zerglings kill a lot of stuff, but they kill a lot of stuff in the early game before, you know, the critical mass sort of happens. I still don't know why I killed that stalker. I really don't. But hey, it helped me out. Well, not really, but it helped me out a little bit. So, other than learning a couple of things about where I should actually place these, because I should have placed them here, for stars. I should not have built the first initial one here. I should have built it here, and that would have defended this position a lot better. Especially since I knew that, I mean, it was around the 8-minute mark, and there was no harassment from either side, so there's probably some type of airplay coming in. I had a feeling. That's why I actually built these in the first place, but I built them in the wrong place. Well, built them in the wrong spot, I should say. And I should have built it here, but I didn't. I needed to scout better. Even though, well, the Mutas did actually a decent job scouting. I could see what he had for the most part. I knew he had a bunch of stalkers. I didn't really see... actually, do I actually see these? No, I don't. So I don't actually know that he has got stargates. I assume he's just making probably stalkers and gateway units at this point. But actually, I do know he had stargates because he had bloody oracles. What am I talking about? So I had an idea that he had stargates. It just didn't click into me at the time. So I need to. So what did I learn from this game? A, I learned not to leave bloody swarm hosts sitting off by themselves doing nothing. Well, they're not doing nothing. They're sort of attacking it, getting the attention of them, which is not necessarily a good thing. That's why I shouldn't leave them sitting off alone. So that's the first thing I learned. 2, I need to position my static defense to be more effective, to cover the most area of defending. 3, I need to build more drones after they die. I need to build them back quicker after they die. And 4, I need to attack actual proper units. 5, I needed to actually realize that, oh, damn, he has the ability to make air units. I probably should have made more Hydralisks, because that would have helped me quite a bit more than building useless Zerglings, since pretty much everything he has can kill Zerglings really, really quick. So, that's sort of what I learned this game. I hope that you learned how not to counter a Protoss Death Ball. I sure as hell did. Like, I sure learned that what I was using again. I mean, it's the same thing that happened in the first game. I was using the wrong kind of unit composition. So, let's just take one quick last look at... where was it? Come here. I think that's too far. Yeah, it's close enough. Sort of... rolling out. So this is what I learned to not use. I think, yeah, I made a total of 3 Hydralisks this entire game. I should have made more Hydralisks. That would have been much more helpful. And again, I need to learn to not do this, leaving Swarmhost sort of sitting around undefended. I mean, because I take burrow for advantage, but the problem is, locusts aren't burrowed, so they can see them. That's the problem. They can just kind of follow the line back. Oh, no, slow down, there we go. So yeah, don't do this. Just, this is what I learned how to not, I learned to never ever do this again. I needed way more Hydras, but also he had much higher supply. I think he had like almost double my supply at that point. Actually no, he didn't have that much. It was like what, 170 to 200 or something, so it wasn't that big a well, fairly big difference. Yeah, fairly big difference. 151, 191. What do I actually get up here before this battle? 173. So it's not the biggest, but this actually hurts because that actually skewed it about a bit, because it's almost take up a fair amount of supply. Anyways, I hope you learned how to not counter a Protoss death ball. That was probably the major lesson I learned, is to make better units. Because I didn't have too much of an issue actually spending money this game. I spent a good amount of money. I spent a lot on my army, but again, army spending's pretty even. Could have made more tech. Economy were actually fairly even. So that's actually the silver lining I'm taking away from this game, is that our economies were fairly even. Even though I did lose a lot of workers early on, and I need to build them back better, but overall our mineral count is actually fairly even, so that's kind of a good thing for me. That's what I'm sort of happy about with this game, that I did better on the economy side. I managed to keep my mineral count relatively low because I didn't get supply capped. I didn't cap out at 200. If I did, then obviously this builds up into a bank. Anyways, so that's what I learned. I had a lot of fun. Hope you had fun, and good luck out there, and I'll see you next time.